Good afternoon, world. I am driving to General Luna. I have to apologise for this awful exhaust noise. It sounds horrible. There's a big rusty hole and I haven't found a welder that can get under there just yet. There's no point in having any music on or anything. At least I can enjoy the lovely views. This is a drive I'll never get bored of. It's so beautiful. So I'm actually out on my own today. No one in the car, see? No Eden, no Story, no Sacha, just Jmayel. I'm going to get some meatless Mondays Thai food and bring it home for takeout. Now if you've been watching the weekend vlogs and you saw yesterday's vlog, you'll see that Story had a bit of a fever the other day and it's just cleared up this morning. She's got no fever anymore, she's perfectly fine, all of her energy's back. But we want to make sure we don't overly stress the system out because she's going to forest school for 3 days over the next week and it's best to give her that extra day window to get better fully. Every time I drive down this road now, Story calls it the Birdie Carabao Strait because there's always a carabao with a bird on the top, and I think that's one of those silly nicknames that will stick with us forever when we're older and we're talking about our life here in the Philippines and in Siargao Island. Because we drive this route 3 days a week, we started to name the scenery so we can get used to where we are in the world. Check this out, man on the top of a jeepney. You don't see many jeepneys on this island, but when you do see them, they are fully loaded. So I found out from my friends that live in Thailand that the country over there has actually opened up for tourism a little while back. They're allowing international tourists to come in now as long as you quarantine for 10 days. So I'm wondering if the Philippines will follow suit and do something of a similar sort. There hasn't really been much news about what's going on with international opening. A lot of people have been asking us when do we think it's going to happen, and I just don't have a clue. Another thing that some of our friends have been asking us lately is when they think the Philippines will start rolling out vaccination programs. And again, it's not really something that's being talked about that much, not as much as it is in other countries. We have noticed that around the island there are certain health centres that have got signs up saying COVID-19 vaccinations coming soon and all that, but there's been no official announcements of anything. So we are literally just holding out here, waiting out for information, seeing what the world is doing, seeing what the Philippines is going to do about stuff, all the meanwhile living in this little Siargao bubble where everything feels kind of the same as it did when they released us from the early lockdown back in April last year. There used to be a troublesome checkpoint right here where these yellow benches were. That was always a bit of a problem every time we were trying to take Story to school. Like some days they would ask us if we had a valid travel pass, some days there was no one there at all. That's been gone for a long time now and it feels like the island is just totally free. But every now and again we get a message from people up north or down in GL saying that there's been a few reported cases, but it's been isolated and then within a week it disappears. And that's pretty much all we've had. One thing I am reminded of though is in the early months of lockdowns here in Siargao Island, when we had military on the streets stopping us from leaving Santa Fe, I forget about that. I forget how restricted we were. I have to actively remind myself that that actually happened here. Commuting down the famous Coconut Tree Road, mountain at the end. This is the view, people. People come from all over the world to see this, and I get to drive it on my way to get takeaway. Almost in GL now. I remember the first time I saw one of these J-shaped hooks on a scooter and I thought, what on earth is that for? Now it's like an iconic sight of General Luna. If you don't see a bike with one of these hooks on to carry a surfboard, or even carry a dog, people with their dogs in them, then you think, oh, am I actually in GL? I also remember this road was a right mess when we first arrived, and then they've done some serious work here to smooth it out. It's a nice road now. Alright, I've arrived. I'm here outside Beach Baby doing the Meatless Mondays tonight. Still really nice and sunny. It's only about 10 past 4, so I'm really early. Just look around though, look at that blue sky, palm trees. Completely different feel to when we went out to the sushi night, which was our little nighttime adventure. I find it hard to believe that it's actually going to be dusk in an hour. It doesn't feel like it. This is the Wabi Swabi menu for today. Meatless Monday from 5 o'clock until 9. Thailand. I think I'm just going to get one of everything. I'm the only one in here at the moment. Such a beautiful cafe. Love the styling in here. This menu inside has got a little bit more information So not using lemon for this, they're using calamansi. Actually normally it's lime. Very interested to see how this tastes because it was a good favourite of ours when we were in Thailand. And of course mango sticky rice, big favourite from Thailand. This is another reason why we really like living in Siargao. People aren't afraid to experiment with foods from different countries, and it's okay to enjoy Thai food when you're in the Philippines. You're not made to feel bad about it. I found that sometimes when we've been in other countries, they'll say, oh, you're in Portugal, but you're not eating enough Portuguese food, or you're not eating enough Thai food. And after a while, you like to have a melting pot of different cultures, because I feel like that's what my family is. We're all mixed, and that is reflected in the food that we eat and the countries that we travel to, the way we live our life. All right, everything is in our styrofoam pack. Keep it nice and warm. Let's get this home to the family. Home sweet home at dusk. It's supposed to be a pink supermoon tonight. It looks a little bit pink when I adjust the exposure. Sacha just made the rather nice suggestion of eating outside tonight under the moonlight. So we're over at the guest house. I've pulled a table out. It's looking lovely out here, full moon over us. I'm not sure how much of the view you're going to be able to see through the camera, but let's have a look, see what the moonlight by the sea is looking like today. Wow, I just took a walk down to the beach to see how things are looking down there, and there's only one word to describe it really: magical. It's making me think forward to when we can fulfill our little dreams of going on nighttime camping adventures here in the Philippines. When we go on our exploration, it's something Story really wants to do, and it's something that I'm excited about. Just seeing the country more at night. There's just something different about it all, you know. Nobody's really filming this at night, not making a feature out of it anyway, and I want to do that more and more. As I came up the steps, I saw Brownie on guard looking extra epic. It's nice to have these dogs here, you know. They do provide that blanket of security. If anyone comes onto the grounds, we can hear them barking, so we know that somebody we don't know is here, and it just makes us feel safer to be out here at night, to be close to the family next door as well. We really have found a special spot here in the Philippines. So this is it. It smells absolutely delicious. I'm excited to have Thai food again. Hopefully it didn't all spill out when I drove home. I actually forgot what I ordered now, but we'll see soon enough.
So we have here, very exciting, a pad Thai, a Thai cauliflower curry, fresh spring rolls, and loads of sweet corn fritters. Joe got extra because he thought Story might still be awake, but she is fast asleep.
Unfortunately, my mango sticky rice was forgotten. It's not here.
There was no dessert.
No, I've been talking about it a lot as well. Never mind, if there's another meatless Monday night, we will go back for the mango sticky rice and eat it and dine in.
So we're gonna zoom in on the dishes because we don't feel like we've given them enough of a feature. So this pad Thai here smells absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to trying that because pad Thai was one of my favourite Thai dishes. Here we have the curry again. That also smells really, really nice.
But we've not had this before, have we?
We haven't had this before, no. I'm not quite sure what the sauce is. It just said cauliflower and kale Thai curry, so that'll be a surprise when we taste it. These also look delicious. Fresh spring rolls, also one of my favourites. Really, really nice. I actually used to make these, didn't I?
Yeah.
I made them quite a lot when we lived in Thailand, so I haven't had one since. It's been many years, so I'm looking forward to eating this little bad boy.
Sacha is on dishing up duty. We're going to share all of the dishes here. We'll split them in half so we can get a good taste of everything. If you're wondering what we're drinking here, this is a G&T with some berries in there. You might be thinking, where on earth do we get berries from? They're the frozen ones, but they look super fresh when they go into the alcohol, don't they?
Yes. Story loves them. Now that we've discovered where to buy frozen berries. She's always requesting them as her little snack, her fruit snacks in the afternoon. In here we have cranberries, blackberries and a strawberry as well. And just as I was dishing up the pad thai, I just want to mention, this really reminded me, look, they've used a flat noodle here. So in Thailand, this kind of dish with the flat noodle is very much like a pad sior rather than pad thai, and they used the flat noodle in the pad sior with soy sauce, and that was what the difference was. Look at that, the fresh spring roll even has butterfly pea flowers inside. That's how you know you're eating a Wabi Swabi. He loves his flowers, doesn't he?
Oh my goodness, I just bit into this corn fritter and it is such an unusually beautiful taste. Can't place the spice. I think it might be star anise. We'll have to ask Ram what he put in here, but wow, it's so different from everything else I've been eating for the last few months. So what, probably about a year, mind you. Not had anything like this for about a year. Fantastic. I'd like to mention that Sacha has authentically brought out a fork and a spoon. I remember when we first arrived in Thailand and they gave us a fork and a spoon instead of a fork and a knife, and we were like, what on earth? And then we realised that's just the way it's done here.
I didn't even think, it's just what I do now. I don't even consider knives anymore, because here in the Philippines as well you eat with a fork and a spoon, so it just makes sense. When you're eating rice falls through the holes, so.
It's so true. I didn't realise how much of a English or a Western thing that was to do until we experienced eating with forks and spoons so much more often. Now I barely ever find a use for a knife, especially because we're vegan now, we don't have like steak or anything like that. When would we use a table knife apart from perhaps buttering some bread? It's all fork and spoon, baby.
I'm going to give the fresh spring roll a go. So this is a spring roll that's wrapped in a rice paper that doesn't get fried, so it's all fresh ingredients inside. I can see there's noodles in there and fresh veg. It's got a peanut sauce on the outside. Really good.
Completely clean plates. That was really tasty. Completely clean gin glass as well. What would you say about the flavours tonight?
My favourite was the sweet corn fritter and the fresh spring roll. Really nice, just because it's different to what we would normally eat. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And it was so nice to be sitting out here under the moon, under the full moon. The stars are coming out now. It's really nice.
Well, Sacha said it all. I feel exactly the same way. What a delicious meal. Thank you to Wabi Swabi and Beach Baby for putting together such a fantastic meal for us tonight. Hope you enjoyed today's video and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.